Alright, cool. So I decided that I would make a video about Google Analytics because it seemed like you liked the other video that I made, and there's too much to explain this by email. It's much easier just to show you. Even over the phone, this is much easier. So first off, the idea of Google Analytics is they put a little code on your page, and so then they can track all the data, not just whether someone comes to your website, but a lot of data about them. So what you have on here right now is called Analytics Counter, which is this plugin that, I looked it up. It's got like 10,000 installs, so it seems like a pretty reliable plugin, but I don't use this. And just looking at this, they're giving you kind of like, the idea of this plugin is that all the info is right in your WordPress dashboard, which, don't get me wrong, it's convenient and it's cool, and this is useful data. But I think that the reason I'm making this video is to show you something cooler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this plugin. I'll just disable it. So you don't, if you want to put it back in, you can. All right, so don't worry about that. But I'm just going to put in the regular plain old Google Analytics plugin. And this is going to pull in the same data the other one does. Look, this one has 600,000 installs. So the data that it's pulling in is going to be the same data that your plugin pulls in. The difference is that your plugin was only going to display you the key data, and it's in your WordPress dashboard. The one that I'm installing has a shit ton of data, but you have to go to Google Analytics to see all the data. And I'm going to show you why it's worth your time to do that. So what I did is I have logged into, this is your Google Analytics account right now. So you can see there's no data on it, which is strange, right? Because you have a plugin running. So there should be data on here. I'm not sure why there isn't. But in terms of setting up the plugin, all you do is go to, let's see, go to plugins, which we're already on. And I'll go down to Google Analytics right here, and it says enables analytics on all pages, so that's already activated. And if we go down to settings, we can go to Google Analytics, and it's going to ask you for a code. So this is a unique code that's specific to your website. So if I go over to this is your Google Analytics account, you can see the code right here. So if I take that and I drop it right into your WordPress dashboard, now it's activated. So now it will begin pulling in all the data on traffic to your website. Again, if you want to use the other plugin, go right ahead, but this one is going to give you we're going to get a lot cooler info here. So if I hit refresh, I still don't think anything's going to pop up because we're still in the site. But what I'm going to show you is, so like when you click here on Backup Tactical, all website data, there's nothing right now, right? So this is hard for me to teach you when there's no data. So what I'm going to show you is a website that, an education website I'm working on, that I can show you what happens once you get some traffic going. So let's see. This is, so let's go up here and set the date. We're going to just say the last month. Traffic to this website. This is the last 27 days. So first off, I can see sessions. So sessions are not necessarily the number of users or page views. It means how many times did someone show up at the website. And you can see down here it's a little over 1,000. That's not bad. About 5,000 page views. People are bouncing around to about 5 pages on average each session. This tells you how many minutes they spend on the website. Since this website has videos, it's all a bunch of video lessons that students are teaching one another. To know that on average people are spending about 4 minutes on the website, that's a pretty good, it's not a bad number. The bounce rate is pretty high. So bounce rate means they showed up on your website and they left immediately. So that's a little bit higher than I'm used to. But I also see something really funky going on right here, because there's this big spike, right? And I got a big spike on Friday, April 22nd, which seems like a really strange, I don't remember anything fancy going on that day. If you look at the rest, I'm typically getting about 50, 75 people per day. If I look at the past few months, if I look at that, you can see there are some spikes. And these spikes generally match up with when we've announced some contests that we've run. So you can see April 1st, that's got a little spike. This one looks really big. So we're going to look and see what's going on during that spike. So we'll look at the current month. And what's really great about this analytics tool is you cannot do this from your WordPress dashboard, but I can actually go in and I can figure out who these people are. And by that I mean if I go down here on the left side to acquisition, if I click on that and then I go to, acquisition and then overview. So now I'm starting to learn, where the hell did all these people come from? All right. So this is cool. So about 600 people this month typed in the URL directly. About 250 found us through social media. 177 searched for us, and 75 got a referral. So someone else sent them some info. And if I get even deeper into this and I click on, let's say, social, it will even show me which social networks people were coming from. So that's really cool, especially if you're doing like advertising campaigns. Like for instance, I found that we did a little bit of I haven't done a ton of advertising in the last month because I'm focused on getting people to submit content rather than view it, if that makes sense for this particular website. So I'm reaching out to a very specific niche of film production students to get them to create videos for the site. And then once we have kind of a basic minimum viable curriculum, then we'll turn around and start pushing that content out to students, particularly homeschoolers. So right now my efforts are on bringing students in that create content, which is a very small niche. The viewers are, there's 400,000 homeschooling teenagers. The number of students that make YouTube videos is much bigger than it was 20 years ago, but still pretty small, especially ones that have an interest in doing educational ones and also students that actually make decent ones. So yeah, this is cool that we can see how much traffic is coming from different social media sites. Some more things you can see if you go over. Actually, let's try to solve this weird occurrence here of like, why do I have this huge spike right here in my traffic? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the dates here to go right around this date here. So I'm going to say let's go from April 19th to 24th, and it says apply. And now we can look a little closer at this spike, and what we see is that, well, it looks like Reddit is the reason. But let's take a look just at the overview. So this is all the people that have reached the site. So direct, okay, that seems decent. Like that many people actually typed in the site directly. Social, if I go in here, all of a sudden I'm seeing that there's just an immense amount of traffic from Reddit for one day. Right? That's strange for one day of traffic. But that kind of explains this source. So Reddit is a social media, social news site. So what happened is somebody shared a piece of our content to Reddit. So all of a sudden, unexpectedly, we got a drive of 125 people in a day. It wasn't really something that we did. It meant somebody shared our content to Reddit. It had nothing to do with running a contest or that. It just happened to be something kind of organic, but we were able to figure out where the hell it came from. And to me, and this has happened a couple times before, what it tells me is that when it's time for us to start pushing out our content, that Reddit is probably maybe the best place to at least begin down that road. But this is really useful, again, to see if your Facebook ads are working or your Twitter ads or however you're reaching people. You can also figure out other things. So that's acquisition. You can also go down here to behavior. If I click on behavior and I look at the overview, let's see. So this is, we're still on that one day. So if I go to behavior flow, this is something that is really interesting to me. This tells me where did people start off on the website, and if they started off on the website, where did they go from there? So you can already see that the top landed on page to begin is not my home page. So this slash is my home page. This is a particular page, and so right up here, this is the particular page slash posts how to pick up girls with physics. So that just happened to be that a lot of people landed on that specific video lesson of kids teaching how to pick up girls with physics. they did not come through our homepage, the normal way that you would enter the site. So that's pretty cool. And then I can see where did they go next, right? So let's say what's more normal is that people land on our landing page right here, and then from there they go to our video database. And I just happen to know they're both slashes. That's not typical, but I just know that about my site. And from there, you can see most people are going from my video database up to here, which is the contest page. So at least in this 5-day period that I'm looking at, a lot of people started off on the home page, went to the contest page, and then it looks like they went back to the video page, and then, kind of went off to many different directions. I also see that some people jumped over to the submit a video page. And let me zoom out and look at the entire month, because this is a little distorted because we're looking at that one day where people came in through that page. So this is a normal flow on my website. People come to the home page, they go to the video listing page, and then it looks like a quarter of those people go right to the video contest. Another, maybe an eighth of the people go directly to looking at categorized views of the posts. Some people looked at the winners from the last month's contest. That makes sense. At the beginning of the month, they looked at last month's winners. And then I can look at, a lot more pages that they visited. But what I notice here, which isn't necessarily great, is not a lot of people are going to our About page, right? So I should maybe make it a little bit more prominent to make sure people know exactly what the website is about. And you can see different things about your site. Another thing that I noticed that's really key is when you look at the bounce rate. So I think this is because we had this big spike here. Let me get rid of that spike. So we're just going to look at the first couple weeks. So we still have 50% bounce rate, which means that many people showed up at the website and left immediately without going further into it. And that's not a very good statistic to have. So it either means that I'm not enticing them to look deeper, or there might be a problem where the page isn't loading fast enough, or I have to look a little bit closer at that, because past months it has been better. Let me see some more things that I can show you in here while I've got this video going on. Demographics, this might be useful to you. You can see the age demographics of the visitors to your website. You can see gender. You can see this one's important, is mobile. So you can see excuse me, what percentage of your visitors are on a desktop and mobile. So right now, about 25% of my visitors come on a cell phone. So that, that's useful. It tells you you should have a phone that's responsive to a mobile device. Geography, I can look to see where people are coming from that are on the website. This is at least from April 17th to 27th. Not sure why this isn't popping up here. Let's see. Let's see if we can apply. I'm not sure why. I kind of thought I'd see a nice, pretty graph, but down here I'm getting this data. So United States mostly. I should tell you, you have all these countries. I've been getting videos submitted from all over the world. Like most of these countries, minus Brazil, I've had videos submitted from almost every one of these countries. So that's, again, cool info for you to know. But I know this is kind of a long video, but I think it's useful to at least show you. Again, there's other things that you can look up, but these are some of the key ones that I would use if you're trying to use Google Analytics. And installing this plugin is really easy. In fact, I think I installed it. Yeah, it's installed on your site. And yeah, you have to go to Google Analytics to look at this data, but it's way more comprehensive than what would have been in your dashboard using that little kind of convenient summary plugin. So yeah, there you have it. That's kind of looking at some of the key features that you can get insights from with the free Google Analytics. Yeah, it's totally free. So yeah, there you go.